Have you ever looked at your diary and thought these are just not the ideal clients that I really want to be working with? Are you posting consistently on social media and seeing little to no engagement? Is there no conversations happening in the comments or in the DMs? Are you feeling stressed and worried about wasting time producing content that is just not being seen at all? All of that is probably down to one thing, and that is your niche. If your leads are drying up, then it's probably because your content strategy is no longer working. There's been a huge shift in social media, in the online world, and in content marketing. So today I'm going to break down the simple steps to show you that you need to evolve your niche and that you need to improve your messaging in order to be able to attract those ideal clients before you burn out, before you risk it all and go back to being employed, and more importantly, before you get left behind. So one of the first things I get my clients to do is to focus on their ideal client profile, their ICP. Now, you'll know that I've always had a niche since 2016, self-employed business owners specifically. Self-employed was the first part. Then we started to work with business owners. We evolved it somewhat. We've even included property investors, but that is now no longer a niche. With 5.6, 5.8 million self-employed people in the UK, that market is hugely broad. Those in financial services I see targeting first-time buyers. That is not a niche. That is a huge, broad audience that so many other brokers and advisors are going after. And if you don't change and focus on a smaller group and demographic, then you're going to be hugely risking your business profits in the future. And I know what you're thinking, but if I only talk to that one person, I'm going to be losing loads of business. Yes, you are, but you're also going to be losing even more business because you're not gaining the people that you actually want. I was having a conversation with a client last week who has been producing a lot of content for NHS workers and was really starting to double down and go all in on the NHS. Got a few local hospitals nearby, has some good associations and good relationships. But when he reviewed his 90 days, and saw what his clients and who his clients were over that period of time, all of them were self-employed. All of them were business owners. Now, while you could run two niche brands, that wouldn't necessarily work. But when we dialed into what type of business owners they were typically in their first 2 years. There was usually only one sole business owner. There was not business partners. They also had one child looking to go to their next move from their first house to their second house. Their partner was typically employed as well. And that gave us a real good demographic of the types of people, their ages and everything that he wanted to go after. So we just doubled down on what were the core problems and challenges that they were having that were specific to the content that he could create. And we really dialed into the message. And we came up with 20 core topics that are really, really key and fundamental to that type of client. Now, his whole content calendar is literally going to revolve around talking about 20 things. And this is the key. You might think that you need to talk about more stuff, but there's only one way you can tell somebody how to systemize their business. There's only one way you can tell somebody how to save for a deposit, or how much deposit you need, or how to improve your credit score. There's only one way you can really talk about that, or there's only one topic around that. What you can change is the way in which you present it. So one time you might do direct talking to camera like this. You might then take that and turn that into a carousel-based image. You might then utilize that same topic and put it behind a story or a case study of a client that you've worked with. Now, with 20 things, if you've got 4 ways of delivering that content, all of a sudden now you've got 80 days worth of content. And then when you get to the end of the 80 days, you just go back spinning it again. The problem that I foresee is you're trying to talk about too much stuff. You're trying to be too broad in who you're speaking to, and then you're not being consistent with a message that really resonates with those ideal clients and those ideal prospects. I say this all the time to my clients, and it's that if someone follows an Instagram page, for example, and it's about potatoes, and all of a sudden they go and start throwing in a few oranges into the images, people will unfollow that page because it's no longer, this is what I'm following you for, but you're now talking about this that just isn't relevant. Unless you are a huge personal brand with hundreds of thousands of followers, then you can get away with way more. But when you're smaller, when you're a small business, when you have a small account, those people are coming into a room, if you see your social media channel as a room, and they want that room to be aligned with what they're in that room for. If all of a sudden the room changes, they're going to leave and go to another room that is more relevant and more congruent to why they entered it in the first place. If you're a business owner or entrepreneur who feels like they're constantly struggling with chaos and everything is all over the place, maybe it's your marketing, your sales, your admin, your delivery, even your finances, then I have a way in which you can understand where you can get some quick wins, where you potentially have a leaky bucket, and what you need to put your time, energy, and focus into to take your business to the next level. And it's called the Scale Scorecard. It's a really simple 3-minute quiz that once completed, I'll send you a personalized report telling you exactly what your next step and focus should be to remove that chaos and get yourself into the next level of growth. If you're interested in taking the Scale Scorecard, it's only 3 minutes. It will help you to transform your business. It's done it for thousands of business owners and entrepreneurs just like you. Click the link in the show notes right now and it will take you straight there to get the quiz done. Now, hopefully that is making sense, but this is the big thing. We have seen a big shift. I've been in mortgages for 20 years, since 2004, 21 years, and we've worked with a lot of mortgage advisors since 2019. But now we are seeing every single month, 1 or 2 financial advisors coming in with our 5. That's put us over 25% of our clients now are either sole financial advisors or financial advisors that started doing mortgages. And we've even got mortgage advisors that are wanting to move into wealth. You know, I've worked with Antonio and Rachel since 2019, 2020. Both of them are mortgage advisors who also do wealth, but have delegated out the mortgages and the insurance and have built businesses in the time that I've worked with them. They now offer a full suite of products to the client, but they're singular focused. And I also believe this as well, in your own business, your niche needs to evolve in terms of what you are offering and what you are doing, because you can't be a master of everything. Wealth, mortgages, insurance, a jack of all or a master of none. Most advisors are a jack of all. And that then comes across in the messaging as well, because what you're doing when you're trying to offer 3 products is you're trying to smash out content related to 3 different things. And again, it's confusing to the people that are coming to you for one sole purpose. So I would even suffice to say, and I've spoken to my team about this in my mortgage brokerage, that we are absolutely exceptional at working with business owners who have growing businesses and their latest year is better than previous years. So we're going to move down the niche of just focusing only talking about that. That is now a solid niche, because if you look at 5.6 million businesses and you look at the percentage of them that are growing and the percentage of them that are actually having increased profits year on year and their latest year being better than the previous year, that's way smaller. You can then tuck in some demographics behind that as well, but that is going to get you more cut through, it's more direct, and it's going to get you even more results with your efforts and your content marketing. This whole process not only gets you more results on your social media, but it also reduces your overwhelm. It really simplifies everything that you need to talk about. Financial advisors have it easy, and it's why I love working with them, because people enjoy hearing about money, and financial advisors have a clientele that are interested in money 365 days a year. For all the mortgage advisors, people are only interested in a mortgage for the 3, 4, 5 months that they need to get one. Outside of that, they're interested in the property, they're interested in the area, they're interested in the schools. But even then, if you can start talking a layer up to the type of individual that you want to attract, you're going to see even more results from your efforts. So if you can do anything at all based on the outset of this message, where you have not clearly identified your niche, you're not focusing your content, talking about 20 specific problems, really dialing in to who the person is, the problems that they have, the solutions and outcomes that they're chasing, then I want you to just sit down and focus on one client. Who are they? Where are they in their life? What was it they were seeking? What were the common challenges and problems that they have? And just focus on that for the next 90 days. And I promise you, your content will get even more results. And for those of you that don't necessarily have a job title, you can do this on a localized basis as well. There's multiple different ways to niche. The job title is a fantastic one, but I see a big shift coming for the mortgage advisors, and that is focusing on local. Why you are limited because you are demographical and you're focusing on your town, your county, your postcode. That is a niche in itself, and it gives you the opportunity to not just do things online, but also to have some focus offline, win some local awards, go to some local business networking events, hold an event, have a stand at some outside festival or business conference, Do something to support the local town. Do something to support the local area. Set up a mortgage clinic somewhere where people can just drop in and get some free advice and information based on their situation and circumstances. Start showing yourself in multiple different places. Your localized areas are sometimes easier to grow because you can have the sign outside the shop as long as there's footfall and everything else. We work with loads of people who just purely focus on that aspect and have fantastic offices in business parks or in high streets. So really double down on your niche, focus on your content, and you'll start to get more leads and appointments. And if you need help, you know where I am. Look forward to seeing you next week.